Good morning. All morning I've been trying to think of a fun story to tell you guys about Thanksgiving, and it's funny how I guess because I didn't really spend a lot of Thanksgivings as an adult at home, I couldn't think of really anything that happened as an adult, but then I remembered one time as a child a story. For those that don't know, I grew up in Texas, and our Thanksgiving centered around deer hunting and football. And there was one year that my father brought home a buck. He had gone deer hunting the day before Thanksgiving, and he brought home a buck, and we woke up Thanksgiving morning and it was hanging in our garage. My mother was fit to be tied. We were having everybody over our house for Thanksgiving, and I thought for sure Thanksgiving was going to be canceled. Well, no, we didn't. We didn't cancel it. As the turkey was cooking, we all got out there and we cut up the buck and packed it up, and it was all in the freezer by the time everybody came over. And then I have to fast forward to the very first Thanksgiving that I had here in New England. New England too, Thanksgiving centers around football. There's some deer hunting, not my husband's family. And sure enough, I go to a football game on Thanksgiving morning, and I had grown up in Texas. I had lived in Florida for several years, and there I was freezing at this football game. I don't know why I ever moved up here. I knew what I was in for. Grateful, thankful, traditions, prayer, family. That's what it's really all about, the Thanksgiving. And this whole morning, I've had so many emotions coming at me and hitting me in all different directions. From my father, who passed away a little over a year ago, from what he taught me, the things that he taught me as I was growing up. You know, he brought us to church. He was an elder in our church. He was a family man. Family was so important to him. To all of you here in this church, and the churches that I went to before, but in particular this church, because you're the freshest on my mind, and the traditions in this church, like we're going to decorate after church now for Christmas, and the way we do that, and the second Sunday socials, and the Catherine Houston Fair, and I was just like, wow, we're so blessed. There's so much in our church. And I just think of all the different people that aren't even here anymore, but how they impacted my life and probably most of yours. And I wrote down a few names, and forgive me if I don't pick up everybody, but I think we could, and it's okay, because I think all of us know who played an important role at this church in our lives. And I'm just so grateful and thankful for everyone here and all the people that have passed before us. I think that when we do the All Saints Day, it's just such a wonderful thing to remember where we came from and why we're here. And I think of Angie Baldanza and Nancy Kuklowski and Sandy Hubbard, and Sandy Hubbard was down doing junior church when I was bringing my kids, and Angie was just, we were already friends, and she just made me feel so welcome here. And then Mike Slater, who brought the Stephen ministry to this church, and he was a mentor and a leader to me as I went through the whole Stephen ministry thing. And then I think of Cleve Reynolds, who was set behind us when we came in, because my daughter, she marched me right up to the front of the church, and and he would always make sure to say hello to her, and he'd tap her on the shoulder, and she would grin. And then Claire LaChapelle, I was on session when she was first diagnosed with her cancer, and I remember just her strength and her love of the Lord, and how she was an inspiration to all of us through her whole illness. And you know, I could go on and on, where all the people, I mean, the Reicherts, the Saburns, and I'm looking around, all of you touch someone. And it just, one last thing, because I think I've already used my 5 minutes, but, you know, it's just, when my father died, my mother wanted to have a preacher that we had when we were growing up to come and give the service. She ended up having 3 preachers speak at my father's service. And George Holland was our pastor when I was just a kid, right before, I think when I was in high school. And all of us, the whole family, we had so many fond memories of him. And he says to us at my dad's wedding, he goes, you know, I was only at Hope Church for 3 years. And I just think about that and I think, wow, people can make such an impact on you, and you can make such an impact on people. So make sure it's the best. Make sure that you show them the love of Christ, and that you show them the importance of loving God, and how He can just give you so much hope because of Jesus. And by grace, we're all here. And by grace, we will all be up in heaven as well. Thank you.